Alright, so I'm gonna give all praise to Allah Shaddai Yahweh. This is Priest Shemai one. And we're back with Mr. Kanye West. And as you see on my screen, you can see him. I'm about to play a video of him in Mr. Donald Trump's office in their meeting just last week. This is controversial because Mr. Kanye West is controversial. But at first, I want to comment on his statements on abolishing the 13th Amendment real quick. The 13th Amendment is dealing with slavery and involuntary servitude. So, he wants to abolish the 13th Amendment. Now, when you pay attention to the history of slavery and the etymology of the word slave, it actually goes back to the Slavic people. And the origin is the Slavic people who were under us, the Moors. And then the first slave master here in America was a so-called black man by the name of Anthony Johnson. So the so-called white man was in slavery, and the so-called black man was in slavery. We didn't start chartered slavery until like the 1800s. So, and plus involuntary servitude is what everybody's doing now because they're debt slaves. This is a commercial society of business. You work for the benefit of the elites. It's all a game. So with Mr. Kanye's sentiments as regards to abolishing the 13th Amendment, I'm kind of in between with it. So I have mixed reactions regarding to it. Because the scripture approves of putting another nation in slavery. It's just justice. And in our case, we just obeyed Yahweh's commands. He sends other nations on us. And the other nations are natural servants under us. That's according to Torah. They're supposed to be tributaries to us. But let's play this commentary. Like I said, I'm going to pause on parts that I'm in agreement with and explain what he's trying to convey. Everybody in the Israelite community and the pro-black community was in an uproar over this. Let's see what he says.
People expect that if you're black, you have to be Democrat. I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of black people end up being Democrat. They say, first.
Okay, so within the first 12 seconds, where's the lie here? The majority of so-called black people vote Democrat for these certain programs. Government assistance, so forth and so forth. Welfare, like he stated, and that's why they are Democrat. They equal black people to Democrats, or so-called black people to Democrats. That's why when you ask a so-called white man that you are of a different political party, he looks at you crazy. Because you're supposed to be under the programming, you're supposed to be indoctrinated to be Democrat, when it was the Democratic Party that approved of slavery. That may be why he is a Trump supporter. Trump is a Republican. But it's two devils on one horn, on one body. Let's go. On one beast. It's
a limit to the amount of jobs. So the fathers lose the jobs and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And then
there you go. So Mr. Kanye West understands the system in which everybody in the pro-black community whines about, and in the Israelite community whines about. He understands welfare is only given to the so-called black woman when she has more children and the father is not in the home. So he understands the importance of a father. Where did he say anything wrong yet? Let's continue. Oh, he said that his Make America Great Again hat made him feel like a superhero. So that makes him a coon. That is his opinion. That is his perspective. You let the man wear his hat. Remember, this is October, the elite's favorite month. So you have nothing but chaos in October. Pay attention and be alert on your children because they will be taken by these satanic demons, either for organ trafficking, sex trafficking, or just sacrificing to Baal. Let's continue.
We got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have...
Okay, so he's saying they got rid of the mental institutions in the so-called black community, and the prison rates shot up. Meaning what? What is he implying? That so-called black people have mental issues. This is not a lie. There's something called PTSD, epigenetics, like I was saying. Your spirit and certain characteristics is passed down generationally. You deal with trauma. This is why some brothers and sisters cannot sleep at night, because they are reliving the trauma. It's like a nightmare. Something very vivid. We call it deja vu in a sense. Mr. Kanye West has mental problems himself. We all have mental problems in a way. Let's continue.
Iraq, what people call Chirac, which is actually our murder rate is going down by 20% every year. I just talked to the superintendent. Remember Michael Sachs, that's Ron's right-hand man. So I think it's the bravery that helps you keep this game called life. You know, they try to scare me to not wear this hat, my own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. You know, my dad and my mom separated, so I didn't have a lot of male energy in my home. And also,
and that may be the reason of why he's always emotional and going crazy, just like every other so-called black man and black woman. They are emotional because 70% of the household is born out of wedlock in single-parent homes. And within the system of that welfare that Mr. Kanye West was talking about in the beginning of this video, we are 1 minute in. I have not seen anything that was flawed, because he says the hat makes him feel like a superhero. That is his preference. It empowers him, because he understands that Mr. Donald Trump right here is bringing back a traditional system. Meaning what? He's bringing back a old order. He's bringing back morale to the country. Something Obama failed to do and was promoting gay rights and abortion and all that crazy stuff. And has bring more and more of a heavy feminist homosexual spirit in the community. So Obama didn't do nothing for our people. Trump has done more for our people in his 1 year than Obama has done in his 2 terms. That is facts.
I'm married to a family that, not a lot of male energy going on. It's beautiful, though. But there's times where, it's something about, I love Hillary. I love everyone, right? But the campaign, I was her, just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. There was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape. For me, also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Rap Lauren, looks up to American industry guys. Non-political, no bullshit. Put the beep on it, however you want to do it, 5 seconds delay, and just goes in and gets it done right now.
So he says he wasn't feeling Miss Hillary Clinton because he didn't like all of the feminist energy. Meaning what? He looks for a male figure to aid him and lead him. Trump is that guy to bring back a traditional style. And he is very honest. He wants someone who's honest. Trump is very to the point, very blunt. So not only does he want a man to lead him, but he wants someone who is honest. Trump is honest in his own right. Yes, he does tell lies, but he's very straightforward with a lot of stuff he says. Let's continue.
You gave me the heart to go to Adidas, because at Adidas, when I went in 2015, we were a $14 billion company, losing $2 billion a year. Now we have a $38 billion market cap. It's called the Yeezy effect. And I went to Casper. We had a meeting in Chicago, and I said, you have to bring manufacturing onshore, not even shore, into the core. It's not about the borders, the core of Adidas. And Chicago is the core of Middle America. We have to make Middle America strong. So I had to ball, because I had enough balls for I mean, this thing made me a billionaire, and I could have lost $200 million.
Okay, so see right there, he says he went. Mr. Donald Trump gave him the courage to confront Adidas about moving manufacturing to America, in particular in the middle of America, which is Chicago, like he's saying, to bring what? To bring more jobs. What has he said that was wrong? Do you not understand that jobs overseas is not for the benefit of you? But once again, this is a commercial society. This is a business. Let's continue.
Walking away from that deal, but even with that, I knew it was more important for me to take the chance of walking away from that deal than to have no fathers in Chicago with no home. And when we do have prison restoration, for no, because it's public.
So now he's asking for prison reform. He says it's better to have jobs in Chicago than fatherless homes and fathers without homes. So he's basically saying, what? I prefer jobs so my people won't be in poverty. See, Israel, what Israel does is look at this man's hat and look at that little statement of he feels empowered by the hat, and they go ape mode. Show me what he said is wrong so far. Let's continue.
Not rehabilitation, because we didn't have the abilities in the first place. We never had anyone to taught us to teach us. Exactly, we had no one to taught us, right? So it's more important than any specific deal, anything that we bring jobs into America, and that we provide a transition with mental health in the American.
Definitely need something with mental health. A lot of people struggle with that bad. A lot of people are narcissists, meaning what? They are self-absorbed into themselves, which means what? They are all so infatuated with themselves that they will take an advantage over anybody to please themselves. They are only for themselves, individualists. The scripture speaks about what? Be not lovers of thyself. You are being something called selfish. Be more selfless. Let's continue.
Education curriculum that Jim has worked on. Larry Hoover also has a curriculum that he's worked on. We have Montessori curriculums that we worked on. WeWorks has a beautiful curriculum. The Waldorf establishment has a curriculum. We have meditation. There's a lot of things affecting our mental health that makes us do crazy things, that puts us back into that trap door called the 13th Amendment. I did say abolish with the hat on, because why would you keep something around as a trap door? If you build in a floor, the Constitution is the base of our industry, right? Of our country, of our company. Would you build a trap door that if you mess up and you accidentally something happens, you fall and you end up next to the Unabomber? You got to remove all that trap door out of the relationship. The four gentlemen that wrote the 13th Amendment, and I think the way the universe works is perfect. We don't have 13 floors, do we? You know, so the four gentlemen that wrote the 13th Amendment didn't look like the people they were amending. Also, at that point, it was illegal for blacks to read, or African Americans to read. And so that meant if you actually read the amendment, you get locked up and turned to a slave. Again, so what I think is...
That makes a lot of sense. So once again, he says the four people who wrote the amendment, he understands that it was illegal for the so-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, so-called Native American to not be able to read. And if you were to read it, you would be a slave. That makes tons of sense.
We don't need sentences, we need pardons. We need to talk to people. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I was connected with a neuropsychologist that works with the athletes in the NBA and the NFL. And he looked at my brain. It's equal on 3 parts. I'm going to go ahead and drop some bombs for the 98 percentile IQ test. I had a 75 percentile of all human beings, but it was counting 8 numbers backwards off the repeat. So I'm going to work on that one. The other one, 98%. Tesla, Ford. You know, so he said that I actually wasn't bipolar. I had sleep deprivation, which could cause dementia 10 to 20 years from now, where I wouldn't even remember my son's name. So all this power that I got, and I'm taking my son to the Sox game and all that, I wouldn't be able to remember his name from a misdiagnosis.
A lot of you have sleep deprivation. A lot of our people struggle with this, not being able to sleep. It also has something to do with if the brain is not healthy, that means you will have a poor diet. As above, so below. And in this context, I'm speaking about the brain. If your brain is not healthy, which means you have an imbalance in your brain, and if you have mental issues, you may need to check your diet and your gut health. This is why a colon cleanse and cleaning out your gut at least a couple times a year is for your benefit. Let's go.
And what we need is we can empower the pharmaceuticals and make more money. That's one thing. I've never stepped into a situation where I didn't make people more money. So we can empower pharmaceuticals. We can empower our industry. We can empower our factories. We can bring not only Adidas on shore, we can bring Foxconn to set up a factory in, I think, Minnesota. 53,000.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. They got 4,000 jobs. People making $53,000 a year.
She is making a lot of sense. And this is what Mr. Colin Kaepernick, T.I., and these rest of these guys who come against, and 50 Cent, who's a rapper. Once again, these entertainers cannot be leaders, like Malcolm X said. But Mr. Kanye West knows his end game. Whether if he's coining or not, he knows his end game. These other guys don't have a plan. Go to Mr. Donald Trump, like Mr. Kanye West is doing, and tell him your plan. I guarantee you they're not going to say it. They're speechless and won't say nothing. And last time I checked, Donald Trump did invite Mr. Colin Kaepernick to come speak at the White House. Why didn't he do it? To tell him your end game, just like Mr. Colin, it's like Kanye West is doing. And Kanye West reached out to Colin Kaepernick to come speak with him. So was Mr. Colin Kaepernick really for the people? Let's continue.
And one of the things we gotta set is Ford to have the highest design, the dopest car, the most amazing. I don't really say dope, I don't say negative words and try to flip them. We just say positive, lovely, divine, universal words. So the flyest, freshest, most amazing car. And what we want to start with is I brought a gift with me right here. This right here is the iPlane 1. It's a hydrogen-powered airplane, and this is what our president should be flying in. Look at this shirt.
We'll get rid of Air Force One. Can we get rid of Air Force One? No, you don't like that.
Well, we're going to have Apple, an American company, work on this plane with it. But you know what I don't like about, it's not that I don't like, what I need Saturday Night Live to improve on, or what I need the liberals to improve on is, if he don't look good, we don't look good. This is our president.
Yeah, he is a spokesman, but he would be to the American people a representative of the American people. So if you're representing someone, you do have to look good. So that is a great point by Mr. Kanye West. But Trump is not the leader of a so-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, so-called Native American man. He is the leader of the Caucasian people. He is not our leader.
He has to be the freshest, the flyest planes, the best factories, and we have to make our core be empowered. We have to bring jobs into America because our best export is entertainment and ideas. But when we make everything in China and not in America, then we're cheating on our country. And we're
correct. If you do not, build wealth in your own country, and build in your own country, you are cheating your own country. Once again, this is a commercial society. It is about money. Why would I empower the people? The people, the elitists stay rich by keeping you poor. That's how it works. The elitists are also businessmen, your bankers, all these people, your judges. They are people, commercial people, man. They are bankers in a sense. A judge is a banker. Every time there's a case, there's a price under it. That's why you have court fees. Let's continue.
Putting people in positions to have to do do illegal things to end up in the cheapest factory ever, the prison system.
You hear that? So he understands that the prison system is modern day slavery, even though the American people in general are dead slaves, but you got more of the slavery in prison because you work for cheap labor. It's like in some of these foreign countries. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive because he had that in game. I like T.I. and the rest of these buffoons. But this is my thoughts on the 13th Amendment and Kanye West going to the White House. You know, at least Kanye can sit in front of Donald Trump and give a plan. Everybody else, what's your plan? With that, I'll praise T.I. Bashim El Shai. Shalom.